All right, welcome back. How is everybody? We'll give this a couple of seconds, making sure that we are on live. Can you hear me okay? This microphone sometimes gives me some issues, so I want to make sure that it doesn't this time. All right, so we're checking in, checking in. You should see me over here on YouTube and also on Facebook. All right, so I'll try to yell, or I guess maybe shouldn't yell. Maybe I'll just speak up. I'll just speak up. How about that? Let me know if you can hear me okay. Sometimes I have an issue with this microphone. It's something I've worked on, but it still has a little bit of ways to go. All right, so as you're coming in, let me know where you are listening in from. I'm very interested to see what the reach is. This topic about YouTube and making money off of YouTube has been heavily requested, and there's a lot of comments every time that I go live. Hey, Ian, thanks, man. Ian Flanagan, a fantastic agent, Dallas Fort Worth, an EXP agent. So if you're looking for some referrals out to Plano, Frisco, McKinney, Dallas, anywhere in the Metroplex, Ian is your hookup. So Ian, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. We're going to give this a couple more seconds as I figure out what exactly is going on here. Are you listening from? Yeah, so like I was mentioning, this topic came about because there's a lot of viewers. Whenever I go on live, there's questions about, well, what's your CPM, or how did you get your CPM so high? How are you making thousands of dollars on YouTube? And this is actually just a side gig, if you will. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about how to monetize your channel. We're going to talk about how to increase your reach with not having that many views. So there's some other revenue streams on that come directly from YouTube that I'm able to leverage and make several $1,000s more in income. And this is just straight passive income. Don't necessarily have to work for it all that much. So it's a good gig, not gonna lie. It's been a really good gig. So I'm really excited to share this topic with you because it's one that I'm very passionate about. At this point, a lot of people are starting to do YouTube from a business standpoint and are being very, very successful with it. So I want to share with you the blueprint. All right, so we're going to get started here in about 2 seconds, and 1, 2, that is 2 seconds. Let's get going. Let me share my screen with you about, where is it? Actually, before we get there, as you're coming in, if you wouldn't mind smashing like as you're coming in onto the live stream. And as you come in, and there's any questions about YouTube, any questions about anything, really, this live stream is more for you. I want to connect with you. I want to build a community that you can ask any and all questions. You do a great job commenting on my videos, and I really appreciate you for that. But sometimes, just with the volume of comments that I get, I can't get to all of them in a very substantive way. I will respond to you, but I'm not always able to probe and really dig into your specific items. So this is a great forum for you to ask your questions where I can articulate the answer a little bit better, whether that's Google ads, YouTube ads, Facebook ads, YouTube in general, lead generation, conversion, CPM and RPM. You're going to see the back end of my channel right now. So any and all questions are on the table. So don't be afraid to let me know what your question is. Happy to address it. All right, so with that being said, let's get cranking. I'm going to share my screen real quick so you see where we're going with this today. And I forgot to hit the record button on this, so I will go ahead and hit record real quick just in case I lose connection. All right, so let's go with share the screen, desktop 2. All right, so this is one of those rare instances where I share my screen and I have a presentation. Very often I don't have a presentation prepared for y'all because I like to have the conversation go anywhere you direct it. But with this, I want to make sure that I approach every single topic. Hey, Alam, thanks for being here. I want to make sure that I address every single topic because YouTube can go into so many different avenues. So I want to make sure that I address everything that I possibly can. So we're going to go off of this presentation, but trust that you can always comment, ask questions, anything that goes on. All right, so let's talk about YouTube AdSense, and then we're going to back our way into different models, into different ways to generate revenue. So the different revenue streams on YouTube as I see them. So let's talk about the YouTube AdSense for a second. So YouTube AdSense is the most common or the most known way to generate income on YouTube. And that is because YouTube allows advertisers to run ads on your videos. They run ads on the beginning of your videos, sometimes if you allow them in the middle of your videos and at the end of your videos in overlay. So sometimes you see something at the bottom, kind of like a little banner. That's another type of an ad, and I'll show you where those actually come into play. So YouTube sells this advertising space to advertisers. So I've been on both sides of this, and I continue to be on both sides of this from an advertiser's perspective, because I pay to YouTube to advertise a certain product and certain service. But I'm also on the creator side. So I'm the beneficiary of other advertisers advertising on this channel. So on your way in, you probably saw one of the advertisers that's trying to get access to you, either you as a real estate agent or real estate professional or a digital marketer, somebody that does advertising for a living, given that this content is very geared towards that type of individual. They want access to you, and that's why they're paying for it. So that's why you see YouTube allows people to run ads, and advertisers pay for the ads. This is not necessarily something new. I just want to make sure that we reset and really focus on where the money is actually coming from. And YouTube AdSense is a 55-45 split. 55% of the income that is generated through these ads goes to the content creator. 45% goes to Google. So it's a very Google/YouTube. In case you didn't know, Google owns YouTube. So I'm going to use those two interchangeably. Now, that is the split. For every dollar coming in, 55 goes to the creator, 45% goes to to Google and YouTube for the ability to do that. Now we get into CPM and RPM. So again, we're just talking about YouTube AdSense. We're going to back our way into some other revenue streams and really put this into context, because I get a lot of questions about CPM and I get a lot of questions about RPM. So I want to just start from the very beginning and address one of the most common questions of what are the most profitable niches and how do these actually get calculated. So the CPM is cost per milli. So cost per thousand views. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So CPM has been the most common way to really allocate and share how much the cost per 1,000 views actually is when you're advertising on YouTube. RPM is a new metric. This was introduced about 3 months ago now. So revenue per milli, which is revenue per 1,000 views. This is the number that a lot of creators would have to calculate by hand, because they wanted to know, okay, I know what my CPM is, but it doesn't necessarily tell me how much income I'm going to receive, because the CPM is based off of monetized views. Not all of the views that go through your channel, or anytime somebody watches your content, they don't always count towards your monetized views, because those views are sometimes not monetized. Gets a little bit complex, but just giving you the differences between CPM and RPM. So RPM is a new metric that YouTube introduced for us creators, so we can readily see how much we get per views, just straight views. We don't care how many are monetized or not monetized. We just care if we put in 50,000 views or 500,000 views or 1 million views per month, what is going to be my return? How much am I going to make? So just to put this a little bit more into context, I'm going to share over here my present dashboard right now. I'm going to refresh it so you see the activity going on in the channel right now. And we're going to go over to analytics just to show you what this looks like in practice. So when I go over here to revenue, this is a CPM. You can see that it's drastically higher. And you're over here, you're going to see RPM. So you can see that it's about half, or a little bit over half, which is fantastic. Now, to put this into context before we continue going back on our slides, this is insanely high. This is absolutely insanely high. If you're looking to get into YouTube and really make this a business for yourself, understand that it's going to be incredibly difficult to get these types of numbers when we're talking about the CPMs and the RPMs. And I'll show you why this is the case with my channel specifically. But just giving you a little bit of context, I don't want to get too much ahead of myself. So that's what we're talking about with CPM and RPM. Now, one of the questions becomes from other YouTube creators that have an understanding what CPM is, what RPM is, how did you get those numbers that high? And Typically, these comments are made from somebody that's getting a lot more views than I am and are receiving a couple $100 a month. Now, a couple $100, don't mishear me. It's fantastic revenue just on the side, if you will, if this is not your main gig. But at the same time, the difference between getting a couple $100 and a couple $1,000, that's drastic if you're putting in the same amount of effort. So that's where the question comes from. So I don't fault them for asking that. Now, the top four niches, if you will, the top four types of content that come about to have this CPM and this RPM, or have a higher RPM and CPM, has to do with personal finance. Personal finance channels will not give you will not give you these types of numbers, these types of CPMs, but they will give you in the $20 to $50 CPM range. So it won't get this high because my content's a little bit different. I'll show you where I categorize mine. But personal finance channels are fantastic revenue, CPM and RPM play. So if you're thinking about getting into YouTube and putting in some content outside of whatever you're doing, I know we have a lot of digital marketers. I have a lot of real estate professionals tuning in right now. If you're looking to make YouTube a revenue generator for you, and you can speak about personal finance, then absolutely. And I have a little announcement on this with my partner, Joseph Gonzalez, in regards to this. I'm kind of tilting my hand on this, but it has to do with YouTube. It has to do with the partnership, and it has to do about finance. So you can fill in the gaps right there. E-commerce, teaching people how to do e-commerce is a moneymaker. E-commerce is absolutely crushing it. One, there's so many people trying to get into e-commerce, especially now given the whole COVID situation, where a lot of people are going to the online economy to generate some income. So there's a demand, but also from the advertiser standpoint, there's a lot of advertisers ready to put some money behind the content creators so they can advertise their courses, advertise their products, advertise their services, advertise anything and everything. So you have the advertiser side and then you have the content side. So it makes a perfect formula. So e-commerce is a fantastic niche if you want that higher CPM and that higher RPM. Now, equipment and software, this has to do with more reviews channels. So if you're talking about cameras, if you're talking about software, let's just say, what are we talking about? Oh my gosh, what so many acronyms, CRMs. So customer relationship management tools. If you're talking about really anything technology based, anything that has to be that you're sharing reviews on, that you're sharing a little bit more about a certain product or service, is a fantastic revenue generator for you. Now these are going to do well when it comes to CPMs and RPM. So YouTube AdSense will give you a good amount of income, but where you make most of your money here is going to be in sponsorships and in affiliates. And I'll get to that here on the next slide. So the play here is CPM and RPM if you're making this type of content, but also where the real money is, and I say real money in quotes, I guess, is with your affiliates and your sponsors. And I'll give you an example of each. All right, and then tutorials. So my content mostly has to do with tutorials, and the tutorials has to be towards an industry that has a lot of money in it. If you're going to do CPM and RPM, so if you're going after YouTube AdSense and want to get a good mixture of views and a good mixture of a high CPM and RPM, then you need to step back and identify who you're targeting with your tutorials. As an example, I target real estate agents. This is my target audience. This is who I'm speaking to. I'm a real estate agent, and I saw that there was a huge need for this type of content because it was always behind a paywall from, and I know I'm seeing a lot of digital marketers on the channel right now, so my apologies. This is not a swipe at you, but I was seeing a lot of digital marketers behind the paywall charging $5,000 a month for a service that a real estate agent has no business paying that much. So all that to say is that was where I came into the picture when it comes to the content that I decided to make. So I made a lot of tutorials, and given that I do a lot of content geared towards real estate agent, a lot of digital marketers, a lot of advertisers, people that wanted to do the service for the agents started watching the channel. So I welcome both of you. I welcome both audiences. I understand that there's a need on both sides of the fence, but just giving you a little bit of context of why I make the content that I make. So a majority of the content that I make has to do with tutorials, how to run Facebook ads, how to run Google ads, how to run YouTube ads, how does YouTube work? But it also migrates into this category right here. So you're seeing that I approach a lot of the high CPM and RPM niches. Truth be told, this was actually by accident. It wasn't necessarily I'm going to strategically start here, because this type of video did not exist back when I started in August of 2018. Had I seen that, I would have started making 5 videos a day had I known that at that point in time. But it just kind of happened. So just giving you some information right now, so you know now what you know, or I guess have a little bit more understanding of how this works. So let me move this over here for a second. All right, so this is a little bit more about how YouTube AdSense works, but let's dive into something else real quick. Let's dive into the revenue streams. Hopefully you can see the words on the screen. And as you have any questions, again, a huge reminder, let me know in the comment section down below. I see some comments already. We have somebody from Dubai. Alam, welcome, welcome. Warren, good morning, my friend. Our appointment today. Looking forward to it. Warren from California. Awesome. Well, thank y'all all so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Ian, Plano, Texas. Any questions that come up, please feel free to drop them down in the chat. And also on your way in and on your way out, if you can smash like just once, you don't want to do and undo, but just once, that's all that requires. Just a small like will do a lot of wonders. All right, so YouTube revenue streams. This is taking a step back. What we were just doing, we were a little bit in the trees. We were a little bit in the thick of it with YouTube AdSense. This is one specific strategy. This is, if you're going straight for YouTube money, YouTube AdSense, this is where you're operating from. But let's take a step back. Let's step back into the forest so we can see the forest. So here we go. YouTube revenue streams. The quickest path to income on YouTube is to leverage YouTube as a communication tool. So let me repeat that. The quickest path to revenue on YouTube is to use YouTube as a communication tool for clients and customers. So putting this into practice, the reason that you're making content on YouTube is for video marketing, is to have another platform that you're spreading your message in a passive way, in a free way, in a way where you only create a video once and it's working forever. So there's a lot of benefits to YouTube, and I've covered those extensively in this channel. So I'm not going to give you the case for using YouTube. I'm assuming that if you're watching this live stream right now, you have an inkling that YouTube is valuable. So that's how I'm going to leave it. But just giving you the play-by-play, clients and customers is what your focus is when you start out on YouTube. So this means that if you're a real estate agent, you're making content specifically to attract clients. If you are in the digital marketing world, you're making content specifically to attract clients. If you are running ads for schools, if you're running ads for churches, if you're running ads for hair salons, whatever the case may be, you are making content that's going to provide value to your ideal audience. And in turn, they're going to see you as the authority, and they're also going to reach out to you for questions. And ideally, they're going to reach out to you to either purchase your products or purchase your courses or use your services. So at the end of the day, this is the quickest path to money through YouTube. But you can see right here that this is actually leveraging what you do already. This bullet point, this doesn't change you. Going back to the real estate agent example, this doesn't change you from real estate agent to full-time YouTuber. That's not the goal. Many real estate agents want to continue being a real estate agent, but they just need more business. So that's when they enter into the YouTube ecosystem, and they make content specifically to attract clients, to attract buyers, to attract sellers, to attract investors, to attract people to reach out to them and use their services. So this revolves around leveraging what you do already and attract people as clients or attract customers if you're selling products. So is this making sense? Let me know in the comment section down below. We have somebody from India. Hey, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. So this is the first revenue stream that you should look at whenever you're focusing on YouTube. Now, the second income stream, revenue stream that you can tap into immediately. This can be done within the hour. So it's the affiliate commission. So when you're making videos with the sole intention of attracting clients and attracting customers, let's just say a real estate agent makes a video for home buyers that's designed to attract home buyers. A real estate agent can start putting an affiliate link in their videos and start monetizing that way. So what does that mean? That means that online, if you're selling a service or selling a product by somebody else, so a company that has a service or a product, you can sign up to many of these companies and get an affiliate link from these companies. So you're gonna have a unique code, unique URL that is identifiable to you. And if somebody signs up using that link, so by them clicking on it, they're automatically cookied and they're tracked, saying that this is telling the company that you signed up with, letting them know that this customer, this client came through your efforts, then you get a small commission. Well, I shouldn't say small, and you get a commission check or commission money from being an affiliate. And affiliates come in all shapes and sizes. Sometimes they pay out per sign up. Sometimes they pay per percentage. Sometimes you actually have to give somebody a code, so they type it into the checkout. There's so many different ways to do affiliates, but primarily it involves you getting a unique link, you putting it in your description, people clicking on that description, and them signing up, and you get a commission. So going over to my channel, and the way that that looks is I'll go over to my channel real quick so you see it in action of some videos that I have. So going over here to videos and going to, here we are live right now. So let's go to right here. So that was an ad that's about to play. So that is every time, just to give you some perspective, every time you watch one of my videos, it's 4 cents. So thank you so much. I thank you for the 4 cents for me. So, all right, when it comes to the affiliates, where we go. So affiliate partners, I call out that these are affiliates, and that is a huge requirement for your affiliates. You do want to disclose that there is some financial gain for you when it comes to somebody signing up. So as you can see, I have a few affiliates right there, and I have these on Bitly links so I can track how many clicks I'm getting. And when somebody clicks through, they are cookied. And if they end up signing up through my affiliate link, then I get a commission off of that. So these are my affiliate partners right now, soon to be a few more. So that is the affiliate part of making money. And this doesn't require you to have an X amount of subscribers, an X amount of hours of watch time. There's really no requirement outside of the legal requirement of you disclosing that it's an affiliate. And you can add as many affiliates as you want, and you're making money that way. So that is really this right here, the clients and customers, that is a great way for you to start getting revenue through YouTube. But affiliate commission is something that you immediately tap into, something that you have access to that you would have no other way of getting to it outside of you emailing and outside of you putting it on social media somewhere else. So this immediately opens up a different revenue stream. So just to give you some perspective, well, let me go through YouTube AdSense and then I'll add some perspective. YouTube AdSense is what we already discussed at length. The barrier to entry whenever you're starting out your YouTube channel is you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 of hours watched within the year. So the 1,000 subscribers can happen whenever. It can take you 3 years. It can take you 5 years, however long it takes you to get the subscribers. But the 4,000 hours of watch time, that does need to be within 12 months. So 12 months worth of 4,000 hours. So once you have that threshold met, you apply to be part of the YouTube Partner Program, which most of the time you'll get approved, assuming it's not content that YouTube sees as problematic. Most of the time you're going to get approved. But once you become a YouTube partner, then you start generating that income. Then you start talking about this the first slide that we were talking about right here. Then you're in the AdSense program, and this is how that works. So it took me about 8 months to get to partner, meaning 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours of watch time. So that's how long it took me. Some people it takes a very short amount of time. Some people it takes a lot longer. So I'm kind of right in the mix. So this YouTube AdSense, for the most part, just to put it in perspective, YouTube AdSense is not going to be your primary income generator. In fact, it's not even the top income generator for many of the channels that are mega, that are huge channels. Yes, they're going to get hundreds of thousands of views, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and some of them into millions of dollars. But where you're seeing a lot of the big creators and smaller creators, especially, where you're seeing them earn an exponentially more amount of income is through the affiliates and their customers and clients, and also through selling products and merchandise. So very rarely will you see that YouTube AdSense supersedes every revenue stream that a YouTube creator can actually have. And that's the case with me as well. So YouTube AdSense, I will make, well, let's look. I don't have to guess. If we go through my months, we see May was 1,500, June was 1,750, July was 1,870, August was almost 2,300, September almost 2,500, and so far, month to date, I'm about 2,200. So we have how many more days? 7 more days. So by the time that this is said and done, I'll probably be at $2,800, which would be my highest month. Now, this is awesome. I love that. This is fantastic. I absolutely I'm thankful for that. However, just understand that this is actually my least revenue generator out here, which is crazy to think. It's absolutely nuts to think and wild to think, because I'm able to supplement it with other revenue streams in my business. So let's see. Yeah, there it is. So as you get any questions coming in, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll gladly I'll pause and show you anything else that you'd like to see. Now let's go into the next step. So where a lot of the creators, a lot of the people that are on YouTube, where they make a bulk of their money is through their products or merchandise that they sell. Some of them go into selling mugs, into selling shirts, into selling merch, into selling different types of items that their community is very aware of. Or they sell products, something like products that have to do with, let's just say, online courses. So I myself, I do have online courses. So not only do I have an agency that does real estate lead generation for the agent, which is, in that case, it would be more my clients because that's part of my service business. But I'm also selling products, which is, I sell my templates, my Facebook ad templates. I sell my email text drips. So I sell those. I sell my online courses. I sell different products. And the way that you find them over here on my channel is, you see my free courses that I offer for real estate agents. And then you see my premium courses for real estate agents. So you see my YouTube ads and my Facebook ads course. So this is a product that I'm selling. So again, this is a different revenue stream that you can tap into. And if you're a real estate agent, the way that looks is, if you want to share with the audience, your audience that you start cultivating, how to invest as a real estate agent, then that's a product that you can create and you can sell it. So you as a real estate agent can benefit from helping buyers buy and helping sellers sell through affiliate commission. So bringing on some affiliates from a CRM that you use, or a real estate school that you use, or a program that would benefit your viewers, so buyers or sellers. You can also benefit through YouTube AdSense, so where YouTube's actually paying you directly. And then you can also benefit through the online courses or anything that you want to sell to your audience. So if you create a following, that you can either sell courses, you can sell products. You can sell any type of merchandise like we mentioned. So there's other revenue streams that you can make. Is this making sense? I know that we're kind of starting down the path of splitting a few hairs. So I want to make sure that we are aware of the differences because each one of these involves a different strategy. All right, so the way that I rank them is off of hierarchy, where you're going to find the most opportunity. This one, you could actually even bump up to number 3, and YouTube would be a little bit harder to get to if you're going to get to the point of making money off of selling products or merchandise, but you can certainly do that. And now we get to the 5th point, which is sponsorship. Now, this is commonly confused with affiliates. This is very commonly confused with affiliates because there's an exchange of money from a company to the creator. Now, the way that it gets exchanged, that's what makes it a sponsorship. A sponsorship is typically money up front. So this means that a company that is selling, let's just say, it's a CRM for real estate agents, they would approach me and say, hey, I know that you have an audience, a captive audience of real estate agents that are fantastic at what they do, and they look to you for guidance on X, Y, and Z. So I think that we would be a good fit. I'd like to pay you $5,000 for a video highlighting our product. Excuse me. That hasn't happened yet, just to be completely candid with you, but that's how the conversation would go. And just again, I share with you as much as I possibly can. The sponsorship is something that I have not actively pursued and actually something I have not ever done. Sponsorship is money up front, and then typically there's a little bit of affiliate coin behind that where you get a unique link. But with the sponsorship, you either get money to broadcast or do a demo or do something for the product where it's upfront, or they'll just pay you for money for you. They'll just pay you some money up front as well for you to shout out, hey, this video is sponsored by NordVPN. Hey, this video is sponsored by HelloFresh or whatever these services are. So typically they are service-based companies. So they will pay creators such as myself and a lot of other creators that have the audience that they want access to. So it's almost like a little commercial. You can be seen as the ABC or the NBC or the CBS. You get to curate what's on your channel. You get to curate what's happening there, and you can also decide on the commercials that you want to run on your network. Just think of it that way. That's the exact same way. So sponsorship is money up front, and I would love sponsorship because that means that it's instant money, but it's a little bit more difficult to get because 1, you have to build a larger audience, and then 2, you have to find the company that's willing to pay and see the value in doing these types of shout outs. There's a reason that you don't see as many companies broadcasting on YouTube because they are not aware that this even exists. So traditional companies, they are now starting to see the value of it, but it's not super mainstream. So that's why you see a lot of the same advertisers in different types of content that you watch. That's why you see the gaming channels and the entertainment channels and even news channels all advertise something like that NordVPN or ExpressVPN or different company, the same company throughout the different channels. So that's why you see that. So these sponsorships are a little bit harder to get. I don't want you to think that I started my channel, I'm going to reach out to Coca-Cola and they're going to pay me $4,000. That's a great way not to do business because that's just not a reality. So that's a little bit more challenging. And then once you have a certain amount of subscribers, then you get into the channel memberships. So channel memberships are a place in time where you actually have members, almost like a Patreon. You have members subscribed and enrolled in your channel membership. So to be in a channel membership, I believe is about $5 a month. So that means that when you have enough subscribers, you can open up that functionality on your channel to where people that want to support you as a creator because you're providing so much value to them, they sign up to become a channel member. And again, typically it's about $5. I think you can do more Clearly, I have not opened up that tier, so I have no concept on how much and how little, but I do know that it is $5. So when people sign up to be part of your channel, be a channel member, it usually is accompanied through some perks. So you offer the perks to those channel members because they're supporting you, not only with views, which is good, but they're supporting you directly with, hey, here's $5 every single month. And $5 doesn't sound like a lot, but once you have 5,000 people signed up at that tier, that's a ton. That's a ton, guaranteed. Well, guaranteed, unless they unsubscribe. But you have that much revenue coming in, and keep in mind, it doesn't negate all of the other revenue streams. Everything, single thing, compounds on each other. So that is fantastic. Now, one thing that I left off here is the super chats. So there are things called super chats. Now, what you're participating in right now, if you're watching the live stream, is just the live stream. This is not a super chat live stream. So when you comment, there's enough time here where I can read the comments and I won't get lost. But larger creators that get a ton of comments typically have access to the super chat feature, which involves the viewer paying money, however much they want. They can pay as little as $1, or they can pay $1,000 per comment, and it will be highlighted for the creator to see, almost like a VIP line, almost something that will just highlight that comment, so the viewer can actually, so the creator can actually identify it and see it. So for me as a viewer, I would pay money for a top creator or a creator that I follow. I would pay money so my question gets bumped up to the top and it has a good chance of it being answered. If I had a question, or if I just had a comment, then I would pay a few bucks just to bump it up. Hey, fantastic work. Keep it up. Something like that. So there are some creators out here that I absolutely love and I absolutely support in that manner. So that's another revenue stream. And again, keep in mind, these are all revenue streams. By you going down the sponsorship route or the affiliate route or the YouTube AdSense, you're not negating the others. These are all compounding on each other. So is this making sense? Let me know in the chat below. All right. So super info. Thank you, Jaime. Hey, thanks so much. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Thank you. All righty. All right. So let's go to the next one. Let's talk about implementation, because you know that this channel, I provide actionable strategies for your benefit. So I'm all about action. I love providing information because it's awesome, right? I'd like to think that it's awesome, but it's not going to do much good if you can't apply it. If I just showed you my biography or read to you my biography, yeah, there's some things in my past that you would find value. But I'm not a big fan of biographies because they tell you what happened for them, but there's not really a blueprint that they lay out for you in your life and your business. So I'm not a big fan of biographies, to be candid with you. When I read biographies, I have to extrapolate messages and almost put my own meaning on them. And I'm not that good at that. So I'd much rather be told, hey, these are the steps, and go out and implement. That's how I approach my channel. That's the content that I make, and I think it's worked well so far. Ian, dang, I've got to get back on the YouTube grind. Absolutely, Ian. Absolutely, Ian. So let's talk about implementation. Let's talk about how we actually make this work for us. All right, so first we need to select your audience. So select the audience. Who do you want to speak to? Again, for me, real estate agents, and then by proxy, digital marketers. At this point, I have started making a bit more content for digital marketers exclusively. So I'm trying to help out best as I can, because I get a lot of questions that are very specific that no real estate agent would ever ask me. So I'm trying to stay with the times and really be as serviceful as possible to the viewers, because that's how I grow. My North Star is real estate agents, so don't think that I'm going away from you. So selecting your audience is important. Once you select your audience, that sets the tone and that sets the pace for the type of content that you're going to make. So if you're going to make content about, let's say, dog training, then you know the type of content that's going to follow that.
You're going to know what you need to share with people that are doing dog training or anything like that. If you're doing cooking or baking, again, you know your audience, so you have an idea of the type of content that you need to make. So first start out with the audience, then select the type of content. Now, the question becomes, what type of content do we make? As the title suggests, how to make money. I actually don't even remember what the title is. Sorry, but it has to do with making money on YouTube fast. So, how you're going to make money fast on YouTube, so you don't have to wait the months and months and months that I had to wait. You're going to make content that's close to sell, meaning content for close to sell viewers. This means that if you're going after buyers, you're going to make content that speaks to the buyer that is likely to view it, and in turn is close to a real estate purchase. So this means that you're going to make a content that has to do with how to select the right real estate agent for your next home purchase. Whoever watches that video is either curious just because they're curious minds, or two, they're ready to do something now. So somebody that has gotten to the point of, should I buy a house? Can I get finance? Blah blah blah. How do I find the right real estate agent? They are ready to make a move. So these are people, these are viewers that are close to sell. So they're close to the sell. I didn't want to put the sell because I thought that'd be superfluous, too much wording, but close to sell. They're a little bit closer to the sell, close to the purchase. So when you make this content and start from there and then expand back in the purchase timeline, then you have a robust library, you have a robust channel. So that's just one example. Same thing on the selling side. You make content that has to do with a seller, a homeowner that's a little bit closer to making the to pulling the trigger of selling their home. So you start from that avenue and then work your way back. That's how you start monetizing YouTube very, very quickly, because you're going to be capturing people that are likely to make a move sooner rather than later. Once you start building out your catalog of videos, then you start incorporating the affiliate products and services. So you're going to actually do this in tandem. You can get some affiliates. So if you're making content for home buyers, as we were going through that illustration, you can pull in affiliate products that have to do with, let's just see, what would be a good one to incorporate affiliate products for home buyers. There's a lot of investing courses out there. You can put those in. There's a lot of mortgage calculators out there, so you can go to companies like ClickBank or some other ones. There's some companies specifically designed for affiliate partners, and you can get these mortgage calculators that you just get the unique link from the company that is that mortgage. You embed it on your videos, and when somebody downloads the calculator or uses a calculator, then that's an affiliate sell for you. So these are different tools, different avenues that you can use for some additional revenue. And same thing with services. If you have somebody that is using anything that has to do with buyers, you just incorporate it into your videos. And when I say videos, you can call them out in your videos, or you can just ask people to click on the link below and they just take it from there. Once you have the affiliate play, you can create products and service and merchandise. So again, this takes a little bit longer because at this point you're making videos, you're still doing your main business, right? This is designed for you to get your clients, continue building up your affiliates. But when you start creating products, then you're starting an entirely different business, whether you know it or not. You can talk about the same type of business. So if you're a real estate agent and you make an investing course, you're in the product business at this point. You're not in the service business. So yes, you're going to help buyers buy, helping sellers sell, but then you're quickly into the product business, where you have to figure out how landing pages work, how credit card processors work, so Stripes of the world. You're figuring out how conversions work, how advertising work, all that different. That's a different business altogether. So you have to figure that part out. So that's why it takes a little bit longer to get off the ground. Same thing with the merchandise. You're creating an entirely different business, and you're leveraging the audience that you start creating. So that's how that would work. And then when it comes to the implementation, I put AdSense at the very back. AdSense is not the primary revenue stream you should focus on. It's just not. It's a great revenue stream, assuming you get the views and assuming you have a high CPM. But if you don't have that high CPM, then you're not going to get that much money. And if you don't have that many views, then you're not going to get that much money. So if your plan is to transition into YouTube full time, then focusing on YouTube AdSense alone is a great way for you to fail, because you're not going to have enough bandwidth in order for it to succeed. Some people take several months, several years. Some people never make it in YouTube AdSense world to where they're actually paying their bills, doing their whatever they need to do, maintaining their lifestyle with YouTube AdSense alone. So that's why I kept it at the very end, because you have that barrier to entry, which is 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. But also, even when you get into the making money through YouTube, it's hard. It's hard to get that much money to maintain your lifestyle. So going through here through the comment section, if there's any questions, please feel free to drop them down below. I'm going to transition over to, where am I going to transition to? Over here to channel analytics. Now we're not going to go through our through our typical in-depth income report, because I save that for the end of the month. So around November 2nd or 3rd, you're going to see my income report for October. So right now I'm kind of tilting my hand so you see how much revenue we've had on this channel alone through October. So you see that we're almost $2,200. The highest that I've made in a month, I'm sorry, in a day through YouTube AdSense, again, we're just talking about YouTube AdSense, has been 123. I think that's been our highest. Yeah, that's been our highest to date. And if you see the progression of the last 365 days, you see that back in the day, in last November, we were making enough for for a meal. That's good, right? We were making just enough for a meal. Then we had a little spike right as we were heading into full steam Corona. Then we had a little dip, and then we started climbing back up just ever so slightly. And now we are, I would say out of the 5 days, I'll hit above $100, maybe 2 to 3 times a week now. So that's been awesome. But my weekends are my least profitable. So if I keep this pace, we're looking at 2,700 or so. So this is just giving you a snapshot of what it can be. As a reminder, the CPM and the RPM are insanely high. And that has to do with the niche that I'm in, which is in the education, which is in the tutorial slash the people that I actually speak to. So real estate agents and digital marketers. So an audience that a lot of advertisers want to get in front of because they want to sell you something. It's just that simple. So you have that aspect of it. The location, so the geography has a lot to do with it. Where we are, I speak mostly to the audience in the United States. Now I get viewers from a lot of other places as well, other countries. I just mentioned Dubai. I just mentioned India. Mentioned some other countries along the way. But for the most part, it's the United States. So the niche that I'm in, the location that I'm in, the content that I make, these are really the drivers of why my CPM is so high. All right, so I just wanted to show you this back end. There's not too much where I want to take this at this point. Just wanted to show you kind of what we've done in the past. Let's just go last 28 days, which is normal. You see that the channel is trending up. You see the views for the last 28 months, the watch time, the subscribers, and the estimated revenue. So if you have any specific questions, I will absolutely welcome them. Thank you so much for joining me today. I think we've gone through all the questions that we had today. If you have, again, if you have any questions, drop them down in the comment section down below. On your way out, if you wouldn't mind smashing like, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for being part of the community. Thank you so much for making this a reality. I didn't necessarily envision that YouTube would look this way 2 years ago. I didn't necessarily even think that I was going to be making money from YouTube. and be able to present this type of information to you. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you spending your Mondays with me. Remember, Mondays, 9 a.m. Central, we are here talking different strategies to grow your business, something actionable that you can implement in your business altogether. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you next week.